All right, so now that I'm able to see how big this camera is, and now I am going live. This is great. Um, hmm. Let's see what we got here. All right. So, based on what I was saying before, um, I was going to go live on YouTube, and now I'm trying to figure out about going live on Rumble. And of course, there is some topics to discuss, especially with what's currently going on in the union world, especially the SAG AFTRA world. So what I've noticed is based on the situation, it's showing that there may be some talks, especially with the writers, with how could I say this? Negotiations that are taking place or back channeling that's going on because right now the public's not really aware yet. I mean, we know that there will be some talks going forward because, of course, this thing can't last forever. Um, and as we said before, we are tired of reruns. I know I am, and especially we all like new material, especially creative material. So we're waiting, we're waiting. And depending on how good that deal goes with the writers, the actors also may have something as well. I think it's been 57 days since they've been striking. So to me, that's something to say about, they're standing tall and making sure that they're fighting for the rights that they need. So I definitely give my hat out to those that are out there. Also, navigating the actors world or industry, however you want to call it, since this is my first live stream and now I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to put the right information out there, and then people can do their research and figure out if that's the best possible way to do this, because there's so many people trying to deter people from going into this industry or warning them. And yes, you should definitely understand there's pitfalls. There's always pros and cons almost to everything, and especially in the actors industry, there's always pros and cons. So you just have to weigh your options and understand if you're passionate about this and this is something that you really want, then yeah, why not, right? Also, let's see here. There, there's some other things too that I may do down the road as I start to build up on this, which is what was I gonna say? Oh yes, if I for some reason want to do like sketches or things to prepare for like auditions and stuff like that. Course, I really want to do is more interviews with a lot of people that are in the industry from all different facets when it comes to either actors, writers, directors, producers, some studio heads, just to learn all different things, because what happens is we all work together. Everybody has their hierarchy, pyramid way of how they run things, but we all need each other in order to make that movie magic happen. Especially the really good films that, stay close to our hearts that we cherish, from The Godfather to Goodfellas to Titanic to Avatar to The Dark Knight. Like the list goes on and on. I mean, you even go back to Gone with the Wind if you want. So those things, in my opinion, um, when it comes to everybody working together, that's what's important. And of course, we kind of lost sight of that because look at the situation that we're currently in right now. We're hoping that these talks actually do happen and that they actually get something resolved. Whether or not that happens, that depends. It really does. But we're hoping for the best right now. Uh, we just have to wait. You have to, I would say, let it take its course, just let it play out, and hopefully there'll be somebody winning. Hopefully there's nobody losing, but it could be a zero-sum game, especially with every other industry that has a union deciding to strike all of a sudden. This is definitely the month of strikes. I will say that. It's definitely America's watching. That's for sure. America is definitely watching. Um, so yeah, other than that, the other thing is too, um, other issues that tend to come up is, background work or doing commercial work or trying to fill up your resume. That's another thing too that I would say can be a problem if you don't have any experience. I mean, yes, you could take classes, you can network, meet people, definitely set up a reel with somebody, where you have a camera or they're good with camera work or they're good on the microphone, however, or they're very good at editing as well. It's always a great skill to have, especially nowadays. Um, so, other than that, I would say for most things, just give me 1 second here. It seems like the lights just shut off. Alrighty, that was interesting. So, going back to what I was saying, the only thing is I don't see. Let's see if I can actually post this because I still trying to learn how everything works here. So bear with me. Yep. Live chat. Yep. Yep. Sweet. All right. There we go. All right. That actually works. And then see, sending some people some live here just to see how this works out. Probably have to go on Instagram as well. Darn it. Not really signed in. I think it's my AOL account that I signed into. Wow, I actually remembered it. Perfect. So I can definitely apps and websites, add a profile. See if this works. Interesting. Okay. All right. So I see the delay in there. All right. So how do you edit the links though? email notification, push notification, this. All right. Well, very confusing right now. Okay. So, anyway, going back to what I was just looking at here. All right. So I tried posting on Instagram link, and I was still confused by how to actually put that on your profile. So I'll have to go over that again. I know based on the situation I'm looking at, I got to fix that part. So no worries. All right. Going back to what I was talking about with the resume, if you don't have experience, um, of course, if you only done background, you can definitely put that. It's always best if you put featured background, just in case there is some screen time or something that you can capture and post that, whether you have your website or if it's your own profile that you set up on YouTube or whatever, just like clips or reels. But it's better to just do your own reel because they want to see different ranges of different characters and things that you can do for yourself. So I think that's very important as well because I've done the same where you have like a mixture all in one just to show different range of drama, comedy, things of that nature, or romance, however different genres you feel like you're a great fit for. And the other thing too is besides what was I going to say? Besides your resume and then also your headshot, make sure it is up to date every 2 to 3 years. Don't want to be catfishing people. You also just want to do some training. And I think that with student films, because I'm going to keep going back to that, is student films is probably the best way to really branch out, learn from different minds, especially young minds who are in that creative stage and really just build on that. And then also build those relationships with those students because they will remember you, especially if you gave a great performance as well when it's time to do the showing. Because I viewed my own showing back in 2019 when I was working on a film, and I got to see my part in the film as well as my name on the credits. So that inspired me to say, okay, I think I'm on the right path because how else would I be able to get to see my own name pop up by itself in the credits like that? And then also updating my IMDb page for all the stuff that I've worked on, even up to 2022. Um, Sometimes you just have to really, really stay with it in this business because it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be simple. Um, but you just have to keep fighting for what you want. It's a tough business, but we all love it. I love it. You know, I love it. That's why I keep doing it. Nothing else better, in my opinion. When it comes to entertainment, of course. I mean, I love music as well. Music is another great avenue and another great thing that some people would love to do or get into as well. I'm trying to think of what else would be another great thing because there's so many different facets. So I would say also, besides music, besides entertainment, if you play sports, that's another way that you can, find your way into the acting world, even in the military, especially some of the technology and some of the things that, you've done, experiences that you have. You always have a story that you can tell to somebody. So it's almost like you're just bringing more to the table. That's another great thing too, is when you have like life experiences, that's also makes a great actor, as well as bringing that drama, that humanity to the scene. Um, and that's always important too when you have those really deep level subtlety type of scenes where movements, adjustments, facial expressions, stoicness, all different types of facets where you're like, damn, that's a well-rounded individual. That's a person that can play multiple characters, and those people are very impressive. I like seeing different things like that. Trying to think, there was a movie where one guy had like, I think it was like 48 different personalities or something like that, and it was a great performance. I mean, killed it, definitely killed it. And it's very rare talent that's out there that has that, but don't sell yourself short. There's always somebody for something or for some role. That I do know. Guarantee that part. So, as if with everything, this is still a great test to see how this live works with everything. It's great. I like it. I mean, right now it's the color and everything seems to be working out perfectly. And then also with the camera work too. I'm trying to see if I can actually get a link from where I sent this. And if I can, let's see how this plays out. Let me see. I don't even know if I can. It's weird, like if you send like a huge group chat, or if you just send like a. That's the only thing that kind of messes me up here. Let me see. So if I send the link, how does that work? I'll have to figure that out because the only thing is I don't really know if it's the link that I have to copy from here or if it's its own link. But there we go. There we go. I found it now. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Because there we go. And I think I could copy somebody on there. Because if I click on my name, yep. Let me post something. Nope, it doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work. I think I messed it up. I sent them the wrong thing. There we go. And there we go. There we go. There we go. 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 There we go. There we go. I think I figured it out. I was able to get the right link this time because first I was a little confused, but I think I got it now. Right. Sending it out there. Just putting it out there. All right. And all right. Booth Brown. Nope. All right. Oop. And then that's when it happens. Oh, crap. This is like Fuji saver or something. There we go. Whew. Finally. Actually, I can't even see that message. What is it? All right, sweet. So anyway, back to what I was doing. All right, so I sent out pretty much a link here. So now that I got everything all pretty much working again because the damn lights went out, because I guess you have to keep moving around. But as I keep going forward again with the SAG-AFTRA and then also the talks that are going on with the acting world, you definitely want to just prepare, and you're also going to probably be studying a lot of film too, even films from the past. I've studied 1950s popular Hollywood films, and so I learned about different things at that time, different characters, what we were going on in the world at that time with communism and things of that nature. So I thought that was interesting. And then also taking more film classes, drama, and then doing theater. Also, if you ever have the chance to do theater, that's a great way to think quick on your feet. I loved it. I did it before at a college. It was a Christian college out in Mass. It was like way far out, and yeah, it was a great experience. And I would definitely want to do something like that again, just to be on the stage, be with the crowds, that type of thing. Um, so yeah, I'm hoping going forward that I'll have some more like interviews that go back and forth regarding people that are in the industry, and then after that, as things progress, probably do some skits or have other different interviews of different facets, whether it's other industries, you know, people who are innovating and creating. Those are the type of people that interest me. They're always creating and building stuff. It's great to build, something out of nothing. It's a great feeling. It's a great passion to have if you can do it. Yeah, if you're focused and if you can do it, why not, right? That's the type of things that I like. Um, so yeah, that would be the next thing is interviewing with people regarding actors, producers, directors. There's some directors that I did talk to recently, and they do want to come on for an interview. I know my friend Calvin, he was supposed to work with me today, but that's all right. Um, there'll be another day where I'll be able to talk with him regarding, since he's a SAG after actor himself, and also my other buddy. Donald too. And I was just thinking about even Chuck Slavin, working with him, talking with him, interviewing him, since he's pretty well known in the SAG business as well as in the Northeast division. I haven't really talked to too many people from New York, but there is some people I could probably interview whenever they have time to like come out here to great old Massachusetts. And a shout out to everybody in the Northeast. The weather is beautiful today, so definitely get out there and enjoy it. I know I have. It's wonderful outside. And yeah, so with this podcast, like I said, I just want to talk with people regarding the industry. This is something that we love and we're passionate about, and it's just a troubling time to see that there's no really forward progress yet. There is some progress in international films as well as some independent films that don't need like the big budgets or the huge studios to work with them, that they either working on a shoestring budget or student films, so especially the ones who are about to graduate with their master's degree in film in film school, especially like New York. um, those individuals, yeah, they're really staying true to the craft, and those individuals are going to blossom, especially once they get their chance to go to Hollywood, with the work that they've done and the people that were on their films, and especially if they get a chance to go to Cannes Film Festival, then yeah, it's a great way to shine. um, so yeah, about acting, I mean, I always wanted to be in film. Film was always a thing for me, um, especially growing up in the 80s. Yeah, it was always, especially action films. You had Schwarzenegger, you had Stallone, you had Bruce Willis. And then after that, then you had all different types of films from like drama and a lot of comedy, to get people to laugh, like Eddie Murphy, all the Beverly Hills Cop movies. Um, And so that's another thing too. You always want to go for something that you like, especially what genre of film that you like. Do you like drama? Do you like doing comedies? Do you like doing? I mean, the type of films I love watching is crime drama. It's just so interesting. But if you like doing romance, or if you like doing like singing type of movies, or like dance type of movies, there's so many different genres you can jump into. Why not, right? So you just figure out what's best for you, and then of course, if you have any skills that you can add to the game, like for instance, acrobatic, basketball, or you're a lacrosse player, or if you played sports, you played football, or you're a precision driver, because that's a really good skill to have. And of course, if you drive manual, that's another great skill, because it's far and few people that do that anymore now. So it's just, or if you've been a cop, it's another great skill. Or if you've been in the military, depending on what branch of service, that's another great thing to add, because they're always looking for guys like that. Um, or you have your own business, and then there's something else that you can add to it. I mean, when I did background, when I first started out in 2019, back in April of 2019, when I worked in my first production, which was Apple TV, a huge production. They were spending like $1 million an episode, and they were filming this out in Salem at the time. Uh, yeah, I've met all different facets of industries, of people, whether they were lawyers that came in, to give advice, because that was another skill, because there was a lot of courtroom interactions in some of the scenes, and definitely within the 7 episodes of the show. I'm in episode 7 if you want to see me. Um, that was that was great to learn right then and there on set, that they had a bunch of lawyers who were background, who were able to give some input on set to the writers, especially like what to say and what to ask when they're in a courtroom, because they're going to know firsthand. You want people who actually know their stuff and that are professional. And that's why I always said, even before when I went live on Instagram and when I did my video, you want to stay true to what you put down on your resume, as well as what skills you actually have. because they will test you on that. Just like they asked advice from the lawyers who were sitting down with me while we were in the courtroom, like, okay, are we supposed to say it like this? Or because some of them had a Latin based terms that they were using in the court. So you want to make sure it's correct. It needs to be authentic because other people can look at it and be, it's not, it's not what it's supposed to be. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Like they'll call bullshit straight up. They really will. The other thing too, when it comes to film, drama, action, passion, all that good stuff, you just got to love it. There's going to be long days, 16-hour days that you're going to be working on set, and, you just have to keep your energy up. And yes, you will be tempted to eat a lot of junk food that's there at the crafty because it's always nice and set up for you. Um, I mean, yes, definitely have coffee, if you need to keep yourself up. Try not to have too much sugar or cream, but just something to keep you going, just to protect your voice because you're going to project your voice depending on like where they put the boom microphones between you and the camera and all that good stuff. You just want to be ready for it. And I would say, besides being ready for it, just mentally get through it because there was some times where I was like completely tired and I didn't realize I wasn't prepared because it was just so many hours that we were working within the day. I think it was like a 14-hour day that I worked on set and I was just like exhausted. And I definitely needed coffee in order to drive home because I was like an hour and a half out. I mean, because we went to the studio way out in Danvers in order to film a couple of shots. So that was like close to 2 hours drive to get there. Um, just got to prepare yourself for that too, because that's another thing. They may or may not tell you that in acting school, or even if you work with your agent or whatever, just be prepared when you're on set. I mean, most of the principal actors have like a set time that they go in, so they're not always waiting all the time, just so they come in, do their scene, get out if they're busy or have a schedule or whatever. Um, but if your background, yeah, you're going to be waiting a long time. So definitely have something to read, have something to study, even practice your lines for another audition. Just be creative, just, or even network, because that's even what I did, especially like that entire week that we were working straight on. I mean, I was able to talk to so many different people from the production assistants to some of the GAF crew members to the director himself, Morton Tidlam, and then also some producers and even the writer who wrote the book. So that's why it's always great to make those connections because, you know, people do remember how you make them feel. So if you make them feel all nice and warm and fuzzy, oh yeah, they're gonna remember you. And I had that happen when I worked on the Julia set for HBO, season one. I got a featured role, and then they also like hooked it up with the overtime too. I was like, "You guys are wonderful," and it was different because now it was under like Warner Media, which, like I said, sometimes it gets so confusing when you work for like different production companies or different shows. It's always under like some umbrella. So yeah, Warner Media, that's who I worked with, and they were really professional. They were great. They were awesome people, and that experience, and it was the same crew members who I worked with when I did Defending Jacob. So that was, oof, that was amazing. That was fun. So my hat out to them for that. I definitely enjoyed that. The other thing too, I'm gonna try to wrap this up, is be honest. This industry will test you. It will definitely test you in so many different ways. But you also have to be prepared for that. And you definitely do need a thick skin because um, there's some things that people could say or whatever that could trigger you. It is what it is. But like I said, you just need to be prepared that you need to have a thick skin and hear a lot of no's before you hear a yes. There were so many different auditions that even I went into, and yeah, they were just like, "Yeah, thank you, have a good one." You just have to get used to it. You really do, because I mean, not all the time they're gonna get a yes. I mean, there's some people who are very fortunate that do get a yes or don't even have to audition. They just already got the role. But while you're trying to navigate through this industry, um, definitely do your research. I always say that, do your research. Don't take my word for it. Just do your research on casting, classes, how much you're going to spend, how much you need to put away for headshots, a professional resume, and then also, building out your aura as far as your camera work. If you need cameras to do self tape auditions, or if you're going to do voiceover, do you need a studio or a place to record in order to, work from home, if you can't get to a studio? Because that's another thing that's been going on nowadays is voiceover has been so easy because now, especially depending on what kind of device you have and a microphone, they have this thing called Source Connect now, which is like a ISDN that has you connect directly to the studio, and then they jump on the call. It's almost like a Zoom, and they can dictate and coach you what to say, record it, send it right then and there in real time. You don't even have to fly over. They don't even have to spend the money for you to even do that anymore. And so that has changed the game for everything. And they started that in 2005. So just imagine now with all these people that are doing voiceover. And of course, I love the artists that have their own studio at home because it's going to be the best. It's quiet, soundproof. They got the whole construction ready to go, and they just go in there and just make it happen, make it magic, and I love that. And so that's my next big goal too, is just to have a studio because I'll probably be there every day. And that's whenever I'm recording music, or if that's recording a voiceover, or want to do a narration for a book. Those are the type of things. Seems like every time I got to like stand up and move around. So give me 1 second here while I try to get these lights back on. There we go. Seems like these things are always on a timer, and it just, oh man, I got to figure out how to work this system here. So I'm hoping the next time I go live, I'll have everything put down, more organized as far as like what questions, what's the topic of discussion. I know there's so much going on out there in the news. Definitely do your research. Don't always take everything from one source. Definitely read a bunch of sources and then make your own informed decision on what you're reading and what you're reviewing, because we always want to let people know that nothing is set in stone. Nothing is, ironclad fact. Everything can change. And of course, your experience is going to be different from mine or anybody else's who's actually navigating in this industry. That's another thing to keep in mind too, because we're all different walks of life. We all come from different upbringings. We also deal with different people on a different basis in so many different ways, and you just have to navigate that. There's some people who will try to belittle you. There's people that will always think they're high and mighty or pompous, and then there's also other people to just try to discredit you, and you shouldn't let that. Don't even listen to anybody else. Listen to yourself always, because that's very important. Because you're the only one that's going to build yourself up. That's very important. You're only going to build yourself up. And you know, I just wanted to say thank you to my brother out there, because he's doing this thing out there in Atlanta, and I want to give a shout out to the people who left out of Massachusetts, who went down to Atlanta to try to build for themselves. Because yeah, it's still booming down there as well, when it comes to films and productions. Since we know Marvel Studios is down there, the Tyler Perry Studios is down there too. So yeah, it's still a great place to film, and it's nice and green down there. That's what I like about Atlanta. Very green. Kind of reminds me of up here. So that's what I like about it. But like I said before, when it comes to the major films and TV shows, like especially prime time, it's still LA. Just keeping it real, it's still LA. but that's all right. That's all right. Um, what else do I want to touch up on before I gotta bounce? I'm just so glad that I was able to actually get the right link to send out to people because, like I said, I'm still learning this whole live. It's great that I'm able to go live easily on YouTube, but like Rumble, you got to have followers or you got to pay for it. So that's the other thing I had to figure out. And then going live on Instagram is great. It's just it's hard to respond because if people just jump in and comment, I can't really comment back too quickly because I still got to look at the camera and talk to you, and I can't really switch it off. But once I have a professional setup when it comes to doing a podcast, I'm gonna have multiple cameras, multiple angles where we're talking, viewing, it just makes it so much easier. And just having that great discussion, back and forth where it doesn't feel like it's forced. And that's where it's the most fun is when it doesn't feel like it's forced. And that's the other thing too when you go into this business. Don't just do it because you're forced into it. Do it because you love it, and be proud of it, express yourself. You're having a human experience and you're also reliving other human experiences as an actor. Something to think about, right? So, other than that, everyone, I thank you for jumping on, showing support. I'm hoping to have more stuff to talk about, more great things to analyze and discuss with the folks, as well as, bring some insight, bring some knowledge, because I think that's very important. Right now, I don't have a page set up yet, but I do have a link that I already sent out to people. I think I have another link that I could copy in there. Yeah, so I put that on my live as well, and then anybody could share that out because I think after it streams, I think it records, or not sure really how it works, but it automatically, I think, it archives into my channel. And of course, right now it's under my name. But um, once I make the actual channel for the Actors Podcast, then I will be able to make it easier for people to just click on that and just log in and then have that discussion, go live, have everybody talk, comment, reach out, all that good stuff. Once we take it to a whole nother level. So, um, oh yeah, TikTok. See, I keep hearing about that. The thing is, I'm just, like I said, I love just trying this out. I love TikTok for what people do on there. And I know some people have definitely gone far with TikTok. Uh, Definitely want to show my love out there to my brother. Thank you, brother, for that. So yeah, I mean, that could be another avenue as well. I just need to make sure what I'm doing is right because anybody could go onto any social media and any platform, but I still need to have some knowledge to know exactly what I'm trying to convey as far as my message and how to put it out there where it's clear, concise, that people can understand it and be like, "Oh yeah, I get it. I understand." Because I don't want to be like over people's heads explaining stuff, and they're like, "The hell is he talking about? Who is this guy?" Like, sorry, I don't get what he's saying. So yeah, I just want to make sure what I'm doing is correct. Same thing with this YouTube as well, going live. Now that I realize you can put tags, and then after you put the tags, then you can write like a message of like where this is going out, what is the topic of discussion, the title, and then send links out to people. And the best way right now is the people who follow me on Instagram is to send links out until I start building up the page. Then people will just click on the link or subscribe to the page, and then just every time I go live, they'll know right then and there. So yeah, I think that's where we're gonna do it. And hopefully, that's right, 100 baby, 100. That's right. So yeah, this has been great. This has been great. I'm glad that this definitely worked out better than I thought. I actually enjoyed this phone camera because I do know that I was glad that somebody explained to me that uh, the sound quality when I did my last recording was cutting in and out. And of course, I was using my phone to record. Now that I'm using my laptop, And the speakers, I have like 6 speakers built into this laptop, and this is like a studio quality laptop. I think we're good. I mean, next time I'll probably bring my microphone in, and then because it's also wind resistant and it has that spit protection, because sometimes, you just need something to be clean and professional. And so, yeah, I'll make sure to have a microphone next time and take it from there. But right now, I think with the speakers that I have and the sound, I think we're good. I definitely think we're good on that. So yeah, thank you everybody who came on live. I enjoy it. I'm definitely going to try to do more of this and just see where it goes. Just grab the bull by the horns. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully, I'll have some more information and more stuff to talk about. And the next time that I go live, thank you again. This is the Actors Podcast. This is Jamal Clark signing off, baby. Thank you.